Well, first, I just wanted some tools for working with the populations I was working with. I was working with children and families, and as I said, underprivileged people. And also, I was a political activist. So I wanted psychological tools that would have a political dimension. And I wanted tools that were relevant to people's lives, just the way we wanted things that were relevant to our lives that we weren't finding. So I wasn't thinking yet about how to adapt Gestalt. It was more like they had the tools that I needed to get. And once I got the tools, it began to get them. I mean, I'm still working on that because Gestalt tools are never ending. But once I began to feel I understood what it was about and could use it, then I found, I think, because I was often in public mental health clinics and all like that, I found that where other Gestaltists, some of them, my friends and my teachers, they were definitely talking about Gestalt all the time in their sessions. I felt like, you don't have to do that. I'm working with people that are not that educated. They don't care a bit about this word Gestalt, and when I'm talking about resistance or confluence and all like that. What matters is the contact. And I want to teach them the skills to have more contact with themselves, to have more agency, more autonomy in their lives, and also more relational support in their lives. But I don't have to use those. I mean, I'll use a common word like support, but or relationship. But I didn't use the word contact. I would talk about showing up, things like that. Like what are you feeling in your body? But no jargon. So that was my own early approach to it, because I wanted to use it with the people I was working with, not as a. Because otherwise it became another version of either workshop work, which was very powerful, but then a lot of long-term therapy with pretty affluent people, which I believe in. I love that work, but that wasn't what I wanted to be doing. Where you work in a certain way and they learn the jargon of that and their lives change, and that's great, and eventually they move on. And I looked at the people who were in training programs with me. The Institute of Cleveland ran this big 2-year training program, like 50 people a year. They were turning them out. Wonderful training, wonderful teachers. But most of the people who came out of it no longer called themselves Gestaltists, because they found that wasn't very helpful. That seemed too rigid for them. And I thought, yeah, but you are a Gestaltist. You're using the Gestalt. That's what matters. So I didn't worry so much about the exact names, the jargon, or also that you had to do the therapy in a certain way. I felt like, no, I have my compass from Gestalt. The compass is contact. And when you have more capacity for contact, you have more capacity for dealing with your world. That means knowing how to show up, how to know what you're feeling, what you want, how to know what's out there, and to take your own interpretations apart. Because after all, if, as Lewin said, we are naturally integrative, our minds integrate a picture. We apprehend things in whole pictures. We get into trouble when the picture is too rigid, too fixed. That's a fixed Gestalt. Therapy, so our awareness is constructive. Therapy is deconstructive. We learn to slow down using the support of therapy or the support of the group, slow down, relax our emergency responses, undo our habitual constructions, and check out what the different parts are, take it all apart, and then it will put itself back together in a new and more creative way. Well, I found that was what I understood as being Gestalt, not a matter of this or that terminology or this or that protocol.